The great fat backlash of 2023 is here, and it doesn't matter if you're pro-fat acceptance or anti-fat acceptance, they're here for all of us. So what am I talking about? Well, the great fat backlash is something that Alex of Graphically Alex has been talking about for like as long as I've known him. He estimated that the world would get fed up with the fat acceptance movement by around summer of 2023, and what do you know? He is right on schedule. Hi, I'm Lisa and welcome back to my Fat React series where I'm going to be reacting to different aspects of health culture. This includes the fat acceptance community, the fitness community, as well as popular health and beauty trends. Now, contrary to popular belief, not every fat person is a supporter of the fat acceptance movement. Not every fat person out there is entitled enough to think that, we expect the world to conform to us. We don't expect the world to be built around us, and we don't promote healthy at every size rhetoric. Some of us are actively trying to lose weight or just trying to live our lives and not bother anyone. And these are all things you know if you watch my channel. But now it's time we talk about the other side of things. And no, I'm not talking about the anti-fat acceptance crowd and, people like me where we're trying to encourage healthy lifestyles and eating. I'm talking about people who are just simply anti-fat in general, like as an anti-fat people. It's not good enough to encourage you to lose weight. No, they must shame your fatness as some sort of moral failing. So a couple months ago, I and everybody else on the planet saw this video. And everyone was pretty much disgusted by the entitlement of the captions in this video. The plus-size model, whose account went by at the time Big Curvy Olivia, was featured in the video and was allegedly complaining about, flying first class and the aisles being too small for her. This was a lie, an outright lie. She is not Big Curvy Olivia. That account was created to impersonate Olivia's World 95. And they even used a completely different plus-size person to do that impersonation. So they victimized two people in this video, whoever the scammer was who made it. And the girl in the video actually goes by Bowberry VIP. And neither of these women ever said any of the crap that was captioned in that video. But at the time, everybody was reacting to it, and even at one point I was gonna react to it. I was gonna call it the entitlement of the fat acceptance community. And I would have been wrong. I would have accidentally victimized these two girls as well. I was planning on filming this video at the beginning of summer, and I was really glad that I didn't. You see, when I pick videos to film, I like to get a sense of who that person is. If they're posting lots of videos on TikTok, I'm gonna see is this a trend? Is this a one-off? Not really gonna hold it against them if it's a one-off, but if they're putting lots and lots and lots of content out there, like the Jock Scientist, it's a little different. They're really trying to influence the culture, and that's bad. But when I went to go look at the Big Curvy Olivia page, it didn't exist anymore. That's because it was taken down due to impersonation, which I didn't know at the time. So I was like, well, that's weird. I didn't know where the original video was, and I couldn't find it. I thought maybe she didn't want all the attention, but she was supposedly a plus-size model and a fat acceptance activist, so that just didn't seem right. So I saved the video from a third-party site just so I would have a version of it to refer to. And once again, I was so thankful that I waited. So I woke up the morning around the time I was gonna film, and I see this video. It's absolutely disgusting.
It turns out that person was not a fat activist, and in fact, fat activists stole her video and put a different caption on the bottom and made it look like she said a bunch of stuff that she did not.
Seriously, there's enough fat acceptance content out there. Why do you need to invent it? So I got this video from The Cynical Dude, and I agree with him on this. He points out that it was likely done by a disgruntled fan, and the fact that it was picked up by news outlets goes to show that people don't actually look into the things that they talk about in the news.
Have you seen this article in the New York Post? Maybe you're one of the 1.3 million people who saw this. You pissed off because this super morbidly obese woman is demanding special treatment for fat people. My name is Mary. I go by Bowberry VIP on TikTok. I am the person pictured in these images, and you and I have something in common because this pisses me off too.
The New York Post reported on this. They're a really old organization, and that's really, really gross. I don't even know if they submitted a retraction, because when I was looking at it today, before I was gonna, film this video, that was the first article that popped up. They still have it up. But I'm bringing it up again because, yeah, it's been 3 or 4 months now, right? Since that video first came out, and if you Google about it, you still see all those articles are up. They're still lying about her. If you Google her, you will find that. So I want as many people as possible to know the truth about this. So yeah, I'm rehashing old news, and I only hope the best for her. I'm sorry to bring it up again if that causes her some sort of, distress, because clearly she didn't ask for it. Somebody targeted her, and that was terrible. Because the great fat backlash is here, and it started with 2 innocent people. And now no longer matters if you're fat acceptance or not. If you're fat, you're now lumped in with the rest of them. Next, we're gonna briefly talk about Lizzo. Yeah, we're going there. The whole Lizzo lawsuit is weird, to say the least. I don't really have any opinions on the more explicit thing she's being accused of, but I do want to talk about the fact that she's being accused of fat phobia. And she's being specifically accused of being fat phobic towards her dancers. And yes, it's that Lizzo, the one who created the whole reality series in order to find bigger dancers to go on tour with her. I actually have this lawsuit that I want to read through and kind of show you some of the backlash that she got over being, quote, fat phobic. It's from Insider. The body shaming accusations against Lizzo are a jarring reminder of the dangers of celebrity worship. Existing in the world as a plus-size woman is a constant battle. While a small fat woman like myself is afforded more privileges than larger individuals, fatness still carries a stigma. Plus-size celebrities, especially women, are rare, and fat stars have only recently begun achieving the successes that their straight-sized counterparts have raked in effortlessly for decades. I love how she uses the word small fat. I am very, very against using this language, small fat, mid fat, super fat. I find it all to be it's all socially constructed versus I would just rather use the offensive medical terms such as obese, mildly obese, things like that. I always refer to it as the language of the oppressors because I feel like they keep trying to lump me into this community and I don't want to be in it. I always give Alex crap when he calls himself mid-fat. I first learned about Lizzo's real name, Melissa Vivian Jefferson, in 2016 after a college friend showed me the music video for her now iconic single, Good as Hell. Here was an unapologetically fat performer who was not only incredibly talented but seemingly committed to promoting body positivity through her work. As Lizzo's career has taken off in the past few years, she's made no secret of her complicated relationship with her body, something I related to deeply. Lizzo reminded us that the loving your body was often fraught, but her work to empower people of all sizes seems like a genuine attempt to call out institutionalized, internalized fat phobia. In fact, Lizzo once tweeted she believed complicit silence was the reason why transphobia, racism, and fat phobia proliferated online. Yeah, so I like how it's they're setting her up to be on a pedestal, and you just never should do that with celebrities. Stop treating celebrities as idols, okay? They are people, they are fallible. The fact that you were putting her on this high pedestal to begin with really shows a lot more about you than her. And here we go. This is where it really starts to get dark. Then, on Tuesday, 3 former background dancers leveled serious accusations against the performer in a lawsuit, including that Lizzo and a team member once body-shamed a dancer for gaining weight. Dancer Ariana Davis told the Today Show that Lizzo and her dance captain, Charlene Quigley, never expressed blatant fat phobia, but made thinly veiled comments about her weight. Okay, so never expressed blatant fat phobia, but made thinly veiled comments. So it's like microaggression fat phobia, which, here's the thing. I get it exists, but you're filing a lawsuit here. Please tell me that you said something very, very explicit. And here's the thing too. If you've gained that much weight and you're already a large person, isn't it going to be more difficult for you to dance? I just know for me, if I'm gonna be dancing for a 3-hour show, 3 nights a week, that is gonna be hell on my joints. I can only imagine what it's gonna be like for you. It was very nuanced and very underlying underneath all the other issues that were going on, Davis said. I just had this feeling that they had a problem with the way I was gaining weight and looking different, and that I wasn't the same as when they first cast me. I just had this feeling. Lizzo responded to the allegations in a statement posted to Instagram and Twitter on Thursday. These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing, Lizzo wrote in her statement, as reported by Insider's, I cannot read the name, Ayomikun Ade Kayoyero. I'm so sorry I can't say that name. I apologize. Usually I choose not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound and too outrageous not to be addressed. The singer called the dancers' claims sensationalized stories that were coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. Okay, so there's more of this article that you can read, but basically that was more or less what she was being accused of. She provided a feeling that made them feel like they were being discriminated against, versus actually saying explicit fatphobic statements. And here's the thing too, it's like if she was actually being outright mean to her and saying like you're fat, lose weight, I would be like, yeah, probably. But at the same time, it's not appropriate if you also hired her for the fact that she was bigger. But if she's not able to, you know, carry on her job duties due to her size, it is her responsibility to then change her size. Like, she is a dancer. She has to be physically fit enough to carry on the dancing. I think I saw, what was it, like Joe Rogan was talking about how it probably would have been wiser of Lizzo to like switch out her dancers and hire twice as many dancers so they had more time to rest if she really wanted big girls. Like, you have to understand, dancers, like, you know, they're not paid a lot as it is. It's a very overworked, you know, job for very little pay. And I think dancers really just love what they do. So I applaud anybody who commits their life to dancing for these stars. At the same time, I think they also understand that they have to meet certain physical standards in order to do that. I could never do it. That's why I applaud them. I'm like, good for you, man, that you can do that. Any athlete. And I do consider them athletes because they have to push their body to physical limits. So really the only thing I can fault Lizzo for here is that she should have known better that putting people in this position was setting them up to fail. And the reason why I bring up this story and why it's part of the great fat backlash of 2023 is because it kind of blew up very quickly. People just don't really care anymore. Once their statements came out and how it was just like thinly veiled feelings, people were like, oh. So that's your evidence, it's feelings. And I think Lizzo's gonna be just fine. I think it was a hit. Beyonce then very like soon after said that she loved her, and people are like, well, if Beyonce says it, then I guess it's fine. So yeah, in this case, I think the fat backlash was just the friends we made along the way. So for the third and final thing we're going to talk about today, for the great fat backlash of 2023, is one of the biggest hits of the summer. This guy, Oliver Anthony, not his real name, can't remember the real name, but that is the name that he puts his music out under. Just sort of came out of nowhere and got a #1 single with his song Richmond North of Richmond. And at first I didn't want to listen to it because I was kind of peeved that he blocked Taylor Swift's Cruel Summer from getting the #1 spot that she deserves on the Hot 100. But eventually I saw so many people talking about it that I kind of had to listen to it. Now if you listen to the song, you already know what lyrics stuck out at me. Okay, so here we go.
Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat, and the whole beast milking welfare. Well, God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in.
Okay, we're not gonna listen to the whole thing. That was just the one line I wanted to focus on. Wow, he went there. Yeah, people were furious when he said this at first. Well, I mean, people. And I think it was like even the, what was it, Dwight from The Office? I'll put his tweet up here. I love it when rich people criticize people who have less than them for not criticizing the people who are even richer. It's just so ironic. I love it. Yeah, it was hilarious. But that is beside the point. Because once again, that backlash was short-lived because people started coming out being like, you know, I pay a lot in taxes. And I kind of don't want to support this financially. Maybe he has a point. People right now can barely afford rent, so it's kind of upsetting to think about where your taxes might be going. Instead, it brought up a bigger conversation that is not fatphobic, but instead looking at the government mismanagement of funds and where your tax money is going. He pretty much got out of it unscathed. He was a nobody, and those are people that we can usually target and put down the most. So yeah, the tides are turning, my friends. The great fat backlash is upon us, and it's only gonna get worse. If you're fat like me, it may be time to start thinking about a lifestyle change, or else you might get caught in the crossfires of this whole fat backlash. But obviously, don't do it for the culture, do it for yourself. If I can do it, so can you. Follow my content for more advice on how to lose weight and how I've been doing it. I really think this diet that I'm on works. And follow Graphically Alex too to see his progress. All information is linked in my description box down below, so you have a great day and stay safe out there, fatties.